I don't really need this flashlight. There's plenty of light to see up here. Oh, hello. I didn't hear you come in. I didn't know you were up here ahead of me. But welcome, my friend. Always nice to see you here in the Mask Fan Attic, where we typically look for interesting old Halloween masks of note. And this week is no exception. We have with us this evening in the Mask Fan Attic, Mummy. That's right, Mummy. Just Mummy. Now this particular Mummy was designed and sculpted by the great Distortions Unlimited founder and evil mastermind Ed Edmonds way back in 1987, at which time Mummy here was added to the lineup of a series called the Shadow series of masks. And the Shadow series of Distortions masks was kind of a concept series. They were intended to sort of be an in-between mask, because at that time there were a lot of really super cheap, flimsy, floppy little cheapo masks, and then there were the really nice high-end, very deluxe masks. This series was designed to be something kind of in between, not going all out, but not being really cheap and cheesy and rushed either. And as such, they were very affordable. Now, over the years, I've seen these sold for anywhere from $20 to $70. That's right, this same mask. If you're paying $60 or $70 for one of these, you're probably paying a little too much, I think. The original price was close to $30 to $35. Today, maybe $40. More than that, pushing it. Now, as you can see, he's a full head. He does have back of the head, but he doesn't have a neck. But hey, he's a mummy, so if you're going to be wearing it on Halloween, you're going to wear it with a costume, and you can just wrap your neck in the strips of whatever fabric your mummy costume is made of, right? So you don't need a neck on him. Nah, that's what he says. Now, over the years, these have looked pretty similar in terms of paint. Sometimes the eyes were a little less blue-gray than on this one, and a little more white. Other than that, pretty much the same. One thing I like about him is that he has a little bit of old school Topstone sensibility going on, because he has green flesh visible here and there underneath his tan off-white wrappings. Now, I mentioned before he came out in 1987. He was in production right up through 1994, and at that time he was officially discontinued, although since then several additional runs have been made, mainly for the folks at Morris Costumes in Charlotte, North Carolina. Always a great major player in the world of masks, Morris Costumes. Always a friend to mask collectors, especially back then, when a lot of masks got their main exposure through Morris Costumes. So since then, it's been officially discontinued since '94, but its additional runs have been made, which means it's not that impossible to find one today, even though it's a very old mask. And if you look closely, I don't know if you can make it out, because this one, the detail isn't very good on the back here, but he does have the Distortions Unlimited seal of approval right there, the Distortions logo right in his mummified flesh. He doesn't really look like a mummy from any particular movie, although if I had to compare him to a mummy from a movie, which I don't, this is a free service, I think I'd go with Dawn of the Mummy, which came out in 1980, because in addition to its main mummy, that one had some severely rotted and decomposed mummy zombie sort of slave mummies who came up out of the ground to serve the main mummy. And this kind of along those lines, because as you can see, he's got a little bit of the Dr. Tongue effect from Day of the Dead. He's got a little bit of the Dr. Tongue effect going on, where the lower part of the face is so severely deteriorated and decomposed that you can't really ascribe any facial expression to it. And that's a nice creepy look. I like that look for zombie masks. And in fact, Distortions has done several similar masks over the years. There was a mini ghost was one of them, and there were a couple of dead zombie type bloody characters who had this mangled bottom jaw thing going on in similar ways. So that's kind of a theme that Ed kept revisiting, that bottom part of the face being rotted and mutilated in some way. And I like that effect. I think it's very creepy. And again, very creepy mask here. I hope you can find one at a reasonable price, because if you do, you'll be glad that you own a Distortions Unlimited Ed Edmonds mummy. And until next time, if you're too scared up here in the dark, spooky attic, just remember the comforting, reassuring words of your old friend, Spooky Fake Styrofoam Tombstone. Right here.